I am Brée Nachelle Hill. I am a mindfulness facilitator, and somehow I fell into AI land. So I incorporate mindfulness into almost everything I do on a day-to-day basis. I have a lot of screens open right now, so thank you for your patience. But I hope everyone is familiar with Zoe or at least has a Zoe account so we can do this live. I think the group may have overpromised 20 minutes, but I'm going to do my best to make it happen, Joanna. But I want to just talk about the personal command center and then how we track what really matters. If we can get a page down. Nope, she doesn't want to work. There we go. So this is a weird graphic, but the shift is that when you create a dashboard, we're guessing. A lot of the times we have all these different workflows. We don't know what's going on. We're doing too much. By creating an online dashboard, you have patterns. You can see what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. It's right there for you every day. I don't know if any of you have workflows that you're using, but if you don't have workflows and you're kind of just winging it by the seat of your pants, it's not very helpful. I want to say that the problem a lot of entrepreneurs and solopreneurs and freelancers have is that the time isn't missing, it's leaking. So what I do is I created a dashboard so I could quickly find the data that I'm looking for on a day-to-day basis without overwhelming myself. Because I don't know about you, I use Notion, I use Trello, I use Zoe, I use Gemini, I use Stitch, I use Opal. So I'm all over the place as far as software is concerned. So as far as I am concerned, I'm creating just a basic dashboard so we can get started on what this looks like. I want you to think of the reframe for all of this. Like, what is the purpose of making a dashboard? What is the purpose of using Zoe? I use everything like a mirror. I use it to reflect what I do online, reflect how I serve my clients online. And I want you to think of that. We're going to kind of just run through what would go on a dashboard. What does that look like for you? So for right now, I want you to think about these pillars. I want you to think about what your engine is. What are you using on a day-to-day basis? Are you using Notion? Are you using Trello? Are you using Google Drive? You can put links to all of those items and some embeds to some of those items on a dashboard. Also, your output and your deliverables. Do you have documents that you refer to all the time? Are you in Honeybook? Are you in Kitchen? Are you using QuickBooks? Those are the types of items you can link to on your dashboard to make your life a little easier on a day-to-day basis. Additionally, I have horrible migraines. I put a migraine tracker on my dashboard, and I'm going to show it all to you in a moment. But I created a migraine tracker so I can figure out, am I about to have a bad day? Am I not going to have a good day? That type of a thing. And then the wealth portion is my next piece that I'm really excited about, which is I am working to create a Notion dashboard with all of my affiliate outputs. And also, I'm not ready to show y'all that yet, but that is the next step for me, is I can see all of my money on my dashboard. And I'm so excited to have that soon. So this little divot right here is, I want your strategy to eventually become that your life is highly automated. 99% is a little high, but I want you to be very intentional on what you're doing. This is actually backwards. I just realized it. I want you to be 99% intentional. This is what happens, Joanna, when I start moving too fast. But I want you to really focus on how to automate your life so you can live with intention. So we're going to get into what this looks like. I want you to think about what APIs you would need to connect to your dashboard. For example, for the dash I'm going to show in a moment, we use the weather app, we use Notion, I used Google Calendar. So I just want you to think about what APIs will you need to log into to find, and I can show you how to do that in a few moments. The next thing, we're going to talk about what the deployment looks like, and I'll show you that with Google Stitch and with Zoe. And then, to be honest with you, to get started, I've recreated a new dashboard, which is a quick launch, nothing fancy, but this is in Zoe Computer, where we have a little failure right here. We'll fix that on our time together. But you can see that we have, and actually looks really cool in Zoe. I'm gonna go there. And this is just my Zoe homepage. Come back. So in my dashboard, you can see how many cups of water I've had today. I've had 5. You can see that I took my medicine. I'm having a little bit of a filter issue. We'll fix that in a few moments. But you can see, that I took my meds. You can see that I have a quick launch for all of my communities. I can just click right into it, and it will take you directly into my Discord group, my Telegram group for one of my orgs, my school group for another one of my orgs, and my Discord to chat with all of you Zoe folks. Then, and again, we'll fix this in a few moments. I have active projects that I'm working for that are loading directly from my Notion dashboard. And then I also have upcoming projects that are in a Kanban that's also linked to my Notion dash. And this is just a simple way to do it. Additionally, it has schedule projects and all of that are all linked here, and we'll get into that in a little bit. And then in the Zoe workspace, while it's thinking here, you can ask it to create a new page. So you would then open a new chat. Say, what can I do for you? And you can ask it to make you a new space. So right here, again, you go to space. We have this little button right here. This little thing has been flying past the bottom of driving me crazy all day. But you're going to create a new page. On Zoe, you can do a link in bio, blog, play around with all different types of experiences. But for me, I'm clicking something else. Zoe will then say, create a new page. What do you want to imagine? You can turn the Flying Pegasus off in advanced settings. I appreciate you. So in this, you can tell it exactly what you want it to do. One thing I do recommend is that you pick and select your filter model. For this particular model, I'm just using the GPT 5.0 Codex Mini. However, all of our free versions that are currently free work perfectly fine. I would actually recommend the Mini Max. But right now, this is what I'm building with. What I will tell it is that I have code that I generated when Stitch is having a time today, y'all. But I'm going to do something that I shouldn't do. My issue is if we can build it in Zoe directly, it's just the interface isn't going to be as pretty. But we can tell Zoe, let's build a dashboard. Can what change colors, Jordan? I'm sorry. The Pegasus? Y'all are off the hook today. I'm sad she's broken, everybody. I don't know what's going on with her. She's freaking out on me. All right. So for the sake of time, let's build a dashboard. If I could spell, that would be even better. My Gmail calendar. My, let's see, weather, API, beverages, and check email. And we're thinking. I feel like most of your time in coding and AI building is waiting. Does anyone else feel that way? I feel like we're just sitting here waiting for something to render. Nope. Oh, no, 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 no.
And I think that the cool thing, start to button Bree about kind of Zoe is you can also directly build this into Zoe. So it takes some iteration kind of back and forth, but I'm just gonna share my space that I put together. And it took me about 15 minutes,
If
but I
you
was
want to
actually
take
pretty
over
proud of
while
it.
my Zoe was thinking, you are more than welcome. You're definitely able to take over because my internet or something over here is not happy. And someone said I can turn off this Pegasus in advanced settings. Cut it off.
Yeah, but Anthony actually makes two good points, and that's how I initially got hooked on Zoe, is because I also no longer use Notion or Google Docs or any of that. It's kind of funny how basically Zoe has taken over almost every single previous subscription that I've had, which is a little crazy.
It has been
Um,
so cool what you can do. Oh, it's under UX settings. I'm looking. Thank you, Curtis.
I would also add for folks that the way to sort of achieve that within Zoe is to consider, and you don't even need to really read up on them, but consider, before asking your Zoe to store something in Notion or in Google Drive, which also is there's a lot more lag in sort of getting that done. You can instead just ask it to create a database within Zoe. SQLite databases or DuckDBs. I literally just memorized the terms, and once you develop a little bit of a familiarity with what they do, you can do all that locally. And so for the more technical folks, that's one way out of relying on other tools.
So what we have here is that Zoe has built a dashboard. As you can see, it was fairly quick. Now what we have to do now is connect the APIs. So for example, here you can see weather is unavailable, calendar ID is unavailable. We'll get that in a moment. And then you can see the pulse at the token. I'll ask for that in a moment. And then here at the bottom, we have a beverage tracker. Beverages are life for me. It's clearly a part of all the dashboards that I create. But the fun part that I love about this is we can chat directly with the dashboard. And I am actually just checking her out outside of Zoe. She's quite pretty. That's just the online link for that. The button I will want to tell you to stay away from here is right here, this delete button. I feel like we need to make her red or something to make sure we don't delete by accident. Oh, I'm so excited. Y'all are sharing y'all dashboards. I know a lot of Claude girlies have really sexy dashboards too. So that's my inspiration for why we're here. So right here, I actually have a link to my Notion Weather API. So I am just going to grab that.
Oh, I have a question.
Go for it. Let's do it.
Does Zoe store your API so that you don't have to repeat them? Or do
Yes,
you have
they
to
do.
Oh, so you don't have to repeat it. You could just say like, hey, add this API to this dashboard.
Yes, so that's what I'm doing right now. So what I'm doing is I'll say, please link, and I just put, I promise I can spell. So it's thinking, and it'll knock that out in a few moments. And then the other, we put it here under, and again, my apologies, we had a little upgrade with Zoe over the last day or so. So playing around here with you.
Are you looking
Live,
for where
like,
to put the key?
No, so the key is already there. I'm just pulling it in. So right here, we have the Gmail. All my Gmail's already added, but you could go here to add your account. And then you can also go through the Zoho browser to add in your information as well. And then here under advanced, I have my LinkedIn synced here because it actually checks and responds to my LinkedIn messages for me. In addition, that's my Notion key that's already linked to my dashboard. I think someone just asked that question, where do the APIs live? They live right here under secrets. This has been a time-saving tool for me. All right, let's see. It says it's updated. And there you are. And it even remembers where I live. So it updates it every few minutes. Right here, I'm about to add in my Gmail codes so you can get an idea of what that looks like. It's already in here, but let me just see what she wants.
That was pretty fast.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it doesn't take long at all. The issue is my issue today was Stitch. Let's see if it ever generated. Look, y'all, wasn't that pretty? It finally generated. And that's in Stitch. And you would just export that and take the markdown and the HTML and send it into Zoho to give it a pretty face. But in here, you would also, let's see here, I would, and if you don't know how to code, that is okay. You can talk to Zoho, like I talk to Zoho all day. Add G. Also, Joanna and Athea, question for you. Do we have a limit on how many spaces we can create?
I believe technically there's just one Zoho space, but there's no limit on the number of pages you can create for them. So you can think of spaces as just a pre-set up website. You can obviously ask Zoho to create an entirely new site and host that on Zoho, but it's actually Zoho Space is sort of them shortcutting it and having something pre-built that you can easily spin up pages on more reliably, more easily. So you can think of it as like a kind of a mix between a go-to place where things are generated and or a, just a dashboard or like a central place that you can always access. Keep in mind that Zoho Space public pages can end up public. So be very careful about whether you are setting something public or private, and you can do that within Zoho. Sorry about that, Bree.
Oh, no, I appreciate you so much. No, this is why we're all here together as a team. I'm really grateful for that. One thing I do want to share, I'm sorry, I'm pulling out my API keys on a separate screen because y'all don't need to see all my personal business. This is being recorded. But one thing he did mention was that we have a lot of spaces. And I have a lot of apps I've created. The dashboard was Joanna's favorite, which is why I'm here. But I created an app called If She Wants to Work. Come back. I'm gonna let her refresh. She didn't want to work. Beat the migraine. I have a business analyzer dashboard that I created, and this is all just a couple minutes with Zoho based on a framework I created to help people stress test their businesses. Have my speaking engagement page so people can download my goodies because Joanna kept emailing me for things and I wasn't ready. So I just told Zoe to put it in here and then I sent Joanna the link so I looked like I knew what I was doing. What else do we have? I want to know where the migraine app went. I will fix you on the back end. But yeah. Oh yeah, and app ideas. Some people are always asking me what they can do to create a new app, and I just generated a bunch of ideas, linked to the GitHubs and some different ideas for them to play around with for people starting out. But I'm back to pulling my API keys because secret squirrel, the ADD is kicking in.
And Bree, just on the side notes, seeing everything that you've done on your space and on your Zoho has really inspired me. And since our last conversation, I have one Zoho space that I created to make it seem a little bit more like my space, but I think I am now up to 32 different sites on Zoho. And it's because of you, Bree. So
Don't blame me, but it is quite
That's awesome.
addictive. It's quite addictive. And
it is.
I have a couple more that I haven't shared because I don't think they're pretty yet. But the one thing I will say is to build the thing. If you have an idea and you want to get it out of your head, build it. Build it fast, build it quickly. I am pulling my API right now. And we're going to get that loaded. I hope this is helpful. Does anyone have anything or any questions about how you would pull your API keys for various activities, or if you're unfamiliar with the API is, I'm happy to talk to you about it. What kind of questions did you have?
Are you putting your API keys in this app, or are you pulling them from a text file on your CPU or GPU?
So my so actually let me scroll down here. As you add the APIs to your dashboard, they live here. So this is where all my assets live. So for all of the Zoe pages I've created, all of my images live here. So, and that goes the same for your API. So for your generic public API that's available over the internet, they live right here. For your personal keys, they live under secrets in advanced.
And okay, man, I
So
feel
this
like
okay.
this is a great area for me, like data governance. But is this secrets area? I mean, clearly you can't see it on the screen, but where does it live?
This would live in the secure portion of my Zoe space. So it is under a secure, Zoe is a web computer, so it's like a personal server in the cloud. So your information is stored there.
Yeah, from a functional perspective, Rania, it helps to know that you know, the example that we've all heard of, like, oh, the keys were stored in the front end, they were stored in the website. That error will not happen if you store your secrets or your API keys, your tokens, whatever they are, in this area. It gives Zoe selective hashed access to it, which is essentially a fancy way of saying Zoe doesn't know what is in it, but it can use that key to unlock things without actually knowing what is inside of it. And that only happens if you store them in this area. So that's very important to do.
Okay. Okay. So like essentially kind of functions like a git ignore or like environment type.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's like, it basically serves like get environment variables or whatever that term is. Yeah.
Rania is a computer scientist with a background in data security, so she is not playing with y'all about the security of her information on this website. Is that a fair way to put that, ma'am?
The data science grad student.
Data science grad student, my apologies.
Thank you.
So we have added it in, but she is unhappy.
And Bree, can I also ask you a question? Because one of the things that I've been kind of internally struggling with is I do want to create my own dashboard, but I'm kind of going in between. Do I create one dashboard for all of me? Do I separate my personal and my professional? But then I don't want to be managing multiple dashboards. So do you have anything or any kind of ideas about how I can do this without overwhelming myself?
Yes. So this is the deal. How did you know I had slides for this? So your data is how you want to use your data. If you're going to have multiple dashboards, don't laugh at me. Just link your dashboards. Put a little side tab in there and just click through what you need on a day-to-day basis. I want your life to be easier, not harder. I don't want you to be overwhelmed with workflow. I don't want you to be overwhelmed. I also don't want you to just track your information. I want you to also respond to your information. I want you to be able to interact with this on a day-to-day basis so you feel like it's worth your time. If it's not worth your time, this isn't the tool for you. And that's okay. I think we're all overwhelmed right now with AI tools. I think we're all overwhelmed with the new thing that's out right now. So for me, I'm excited with embedding the things I already have in this tool because that's how it's working for me. Conversing with Zoe with my Notion dashboard is amazing because it's helped me to recognize when payments were missing, or it's helped me to recognize I missed a deadline. I don't want to pay for AI in every tool I use. Some of the tools I just want to use as a tool and then have Zoe go in and peek at it and tell me what its thoughts are. So I hope that's helpful to
Oh,
you.
yes.
Yeah, I just don't want you to feel like you need a dashboard for every portion of your life. Where are the workflows and where are the gaps that you need that extra set of eyes? And I would make a dashboard for that.
And my other question is, how do you know when you're done with your dashboard? And
You
I
don't.
feel like
It's not done. It's never done. It is a living,
never done.
breathing baby. This is my 7th iteration of my dashboard. Joanna, you saw a very different dashboard than the one I just presented today.
Yes.
That was
Yep.
7. That was 7 dashboards ago.
I love that. That is,
Also,
yeah.
Zoe just updated some of the new. We have more. I can't even think of the word right now, but we have more models available. We have more tools available. It's growing on a day-to-day basis. The fact that these tools are available to us, it means that we're going to have ways to expand and improve our dashboards, our resources, and what we do on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, does that help? And do you have any other questions?
What's one kind of piece of advice that you have for all of us to kind of take home, especially for the people here that maybe, haven't really tried Zoe, they haven't built a dashboard yet? What's the one big takeaway that they can get from you about all this?
So to be honest with you, the big takeaway is that if I can do it, you can do it. Your mama can do it. And we need to make our lives easier. I feel that a lot of people using AI right now are overwhelmed by AI. I feel as though we're using it and we're implementing it in everything, and it doesn't need to be everywhere. So with this dashboard, we're moving with intention because I'm hoping that this is something that can just cut an opportunity out your day. I have like 7 apps. One that was tracking my weather, one that was tracking my hydration, one that was tracking my medicine, then going in Notion, doing everything I needed to do. Now it's like I have one place. It saves me microseconds that mean a lot over the course of the day. I can just keep going in and checking it and going back and forth. And it's pretty stable. I'm actually impressed with the fact that it is accurate, that it does across multiple tools help me to track my drinking, help me to not drinking, but water intake. Let me fix that. But it's very helpful to know that I can go here and click on my projects and see what's pending. I can go here and see what payments haven't been processed. For me, I had a notebook for everything. So this is just a way for me to do that. So I'm hoping that this tool helps someone. Not sure who, but there's also other ways you can do other iterations. Like Anthea said, she doesn't even use Notion anymore. Everything lives in her Zoe. For me, I'm not quite there yet. I'm still new. But I think that eventually maybe I will move everything here. But for as far as just having a place to create new websites, and they do hosting, y'all. So I don't know if I've shared that. If you have domains, the domains can be hosted here on Zoe. There's a couple little tricks about it, and I'm happy to walk you through it if you need any help. But the fact that this exists and we can stop paying for additional tools helps me greatly. And I didn't even get into the skills portion. I think that's for another ambassador for another week. But I have skills out the yin yang. It checks my, like I said, I shared earlier, it checks my LinkedIn messages. I hate LinkedIn. People sometimes find jobs on there, but I just feel like it's turned into another bragging platform. So I just tell me what you're selling me. Let me figure out if I want to respond. Thank you, Zoe, for saving me time. Can we do a session to walk through the LinkedIn networking workflow? It's not even a workflow. When I tell you how easy it is, wait, I'm going to cut my Um, do, do, do. And also, I'll be honest with you, and I know Ben is probably going to beat me up for this. The free version of Zoe is perfectly fine to get started. I just don't want you to feel pressure to make a purchase. Somebody will get me. My apologies, Ben. Uh, sorry, Ben. Sorry, JV. They'll never ask me back again. But we have automations here. And so, for example, LinkedIn message check. I simply sent a note saying, and here's the conversation it linked to where I'm yelling at it. But I just said, check my LinkedIn messages. If there are messages, summarize them in the friendly way. If empty, keep the report brief. And it sends me a message. Hey, Bree. It texts me on my phone. Hey, Bree, no LinkedIn messages. Or it emails me, like right here, says your inbox is quiet right now. Like right now, it says that my SMS failed, and that's because I changed my phone number that it linked into. So that is my fault. Additionally, I am always scanning. My subject matter expertise is actually AI burnout. So I have documents and white paper search for scholarly documents on burnout. And this is deeper than my Perplexity search because I use Perplexity, and in tandem, I've actually cut off all my Perplexity comment assistance because Zoe is doing it and is doing it deeper. The fact that it even knows to dig into Harvard Business Review, to dig into a lot of scholarly white papers, a lot of other AI tools haven't known how to do that. So this is very helpful. And I get an email every day at 9 a.m. And then I can just open that conversation too, where it actually gives me a beautiful write-up of every article, and it gives you the sources. You have all your links. You can see all of it every day. If I wanted to, I could customize this and make it a newsletter, but I don't. I use my own brain. I write what I need to write, but Zoe is actually learning my voice, and I've set up various skills where it can actually write as me, and it does a fairly decent job. We're still working on some items, but it's been really cool. The other thing I'm using it for is to remind me to check in with myself. And it simply sends a text message to tell me to say something nice, like what's been my rosebud thorn, that sort of thing. Oh, and it also sends me emails telling me who needs to respond for things. Let me see. It says, I've worked with my colleagues on a paper on how agent AI can assist in biology research. Ooh, if you have, and if you're available, I would love to talk to you about how you're using AI in your research. That's something I'm working on. But I am absolutely fascinated, but I can also tell you I spend a lot of time fact checking because sometimes people are creating AI tools to dupe other AI tools into thinking that it's a real source. So that is a thing that's also happening right now.
Yeah. So I'm the one leaving that that message. I really would like to connect with you because we are, as an institution, I'm a director at Carnegie. I'm one of the interim directors at Carnegie. We as a whole, we're a small institution. We as a whole have been discussing about what AI needs and what AI can do. We're actually looking for speakers how to come and give presentations, and so we can then try to gather information on what people's needs are. We do astronomy, geology, and biology. So that's something I think it'd be good to connect.
Happy to talk to you. Happy to also, I have a book. I'm sorry to add this part of in, but I've written a book about AI and mindfulness and how our brain works. So I would love to talk to you about that as well. But we have so many talented people on this call who I believe should connect with each other. If you want to throw your aliases or whatever you're using in the chat so people can stay in touch with each other, let's do that.
Let me just write my email down here.
If you want to follow me at Baroness Bree, I'm everywhere except for Twitter. you're more than welcome to say hello. I'm happy to start a thread and just let everyone know. Thank you for coming. You can also comment on the Luma to let Joanna and the team know.